So chasing external validation, chasing approval, status, luxury items, this is the trap. This is the trap that leads to these quiet lives of desperation because it lacks fulfillment and meaning. What's up, you guys? I gotta drink my coffee, make sure the peasants get distracted. They can't wait for this, so no peasants for this video. The masses of men lead lives of quiet desperation. A quote by Henry David Thoreau. Henry David Thoreau, he was a transcendentalist philosopher, along with Ralph Waldo Emerson, who was, Nietzsche was a fan of Emerson. The three of these guys, Nietzsche, Emerson, and Thoreau, they lived around the same era. And they all had similar philosophies in regards to individualism, self-reliance, the importance of nature, and living in nature, experiencing nature. So the masses of men leading lives of quiet desperation, what does this mean? It's basically a critique of the modern lifestyle. And this was like 150 years ago when he wrote this. But it's the modern lifestyle that most people lead, most men lead, the masses, the peasants who have already clicked off, because that's why I drink the coffee in the beginning, so the peasants can click off. They're easily distracted. But the masses, they are duped and they fall into this trap. I mean, it's happened to me. It's not just the peasants and the masses. It can happen to anyone. It happened to me during my marriage. Marriage is one of the things that traps you into this lifestyle of chasing material wealth and status while ignoring what truly matters. My 12-year marriage, I was stuck in this pattern of chasing success and money. And along with chasing money and success, it's all about the external world and chasing external validation. So along with that comes comfort and pleasure and hedonism. Because you're like, oh, I want to enjoy my success. I worked hard for this. Let me celebrate my hard work by destroying my health with alcohol and having a bunch of sex. So today I want to talk about why men fall into this trap, what Thoreau's solution was, and how we can break free. It always reminds me of the line from Fight Club. I don't know if it's originally from Fight Club, but remember when Brad Pitt is like, oh, most guys, they work jobs they hate to buy things they don't need to impress people they don't like. This, even though Fight Club is kind of an old movie at this point, this rings truer and truer as time goes on. And this is the trap that the masses of men fall into. Consumerism, materialism. And women is a big part of this. Guys chase success so they can get women because they think that is what women want. Women want a successful man to settle with because the man they really want doesn't want them because he's doing his own thing. He's not in this trap of consumerism and materialism. So the successful guy with lots of money and status, he will get a beautiful wife and he can make a beautiful family, but it inevitably leads to divorce because she never really wanted him. She wanted his success and money and status and to associate with that so she could have so she could raise children in a nice neighborhood, take them to nice schools, drive a G-Wagon, and the lifestyle that the successful man provides. That's what she really wanted. So it inevitably leads to divorce. If you chase success to get women, the woman will marry you, you guys will have children, and she'll divorce you eventually because she doesn't really want you. She's not really in love with you. The man she's really in love with doesn't want her because he's pursuing his own thing. The man she really wants would not marry her. He wouldn't invest emotionally into her. So yeah, a big reason that men fall into this trap is because of our natural desire for women and sex. So it's all about chasing approval and validation, chasing material things, promotions, luxury items, social media approval. Like I said, I've been stuck in this myself. It's easy to get trapped in this. You know, you're making a lot of money, you're buying things, you have a beautiful woman, maybe you're taking luxury vacations, and obviously you're gonna post about it on social media. You get likes and views and attention from other people. If you're posting a beautiful woman with you, you're gonna get a lot of attention from other women. Pre-selection is the number one attraction trigger for women. This is why once you get into a relationship, especially if it's with a hot woman, you're gonna get a bunch of other women chasing after you. But when you're single and you got no women, the other women don't want you either. Women go where other women have already validated, like, this man has value. So chasing external validation, chasing approval, status, luxury items, this is the trap. This is the trap that leads to these quiet lives of desperation because it lacks fulfillment and meaning. I mean, don't let me stop you. If you're a young man and you're like, oh, that sounds nice, but I'm still gonna chase money and women and luxury, do it. Find out for yourself. I think it's important to find out for yourself. You have to reach a certain level of material success so you can get those luxury things and experiences that you were yearning for when you were younger. You need to get that stuff so you can see for yourself how empty it is, how unfulfilling it is. And then you can move beyond that. You can transcend above that. But most men never even achieve any level of material success, so they never become disillusioned by it. And they spend their whole lives chasing some kind of material success, not knowing that it's a fool's errand. It doesn't bring any fulfillment or deeper meaning and purpose. So chasing all these material things, these external things, it's a feeling of desperation because it lacks meaning, it lacks fulfillment, and it creates this lifestyle where you're busy and distracted, but you're unfulfilled. The homeless man sitting on a bench, just being present in the moment, is probably way happier, has way better mental health than the guy who's super busy with a fucking Rolex, with a driver in an S-Class, and a beautiful wife and kids, and he has to work super hard to pay for this lifestyle. It's not fulfilling. It doesn't make you happy. So you have to ask yourself, do I really want this? Do I really want this to be my life? When you see social media influencers, these guys flaunting extravagant lifestyles and luxury things, you got to ask yourself, do I really want this? What does that life actually entail? I got a little bit of success. I got a taste. For over a decade, I was making six figures, and that wasn't my taste. I don't need to make millions and tens of millions. I mean, I obviously will eventually, but I don't need to get to that level to realize how empty it all is. I spent years in solitude, not complete solitude, but I spent stretches of time in solitude reading philosophy and building a rich inner world and realizing a deeper meaning for life and the things I want out of life. So let's get into the solution to this problem of busy, distracted, aimless yearning for external things, material, success, status, external validation. What is the solution? Thoreau's solution was simplicity. It was, instead of trying to add things to your life, you need to subtract things from your life. Minimalism. You probably own way too many things. You need to start removing things you own. You need to start removing activities from your life that don't add any meaning, like scrolling through social media. I guarantee you do that. Do you really find meaning in that? Is that developing you? Is that helping your life in any way? Or is it just a complete waste of time? Time is your most valuable resource. Do you want to use it like this on your phone, just like for hours? Is that how you want to use your time? Your limited, precious time on this earth? So simplicity, deliberate living. Don't just live on autopilot. Plan your life. It's a new year. It's 2025. Let's make this year different. Let's actually plan what we're going to do for this year. Let's have some goals. Let's live deliberately instead of just going through the motions. Let's make some drastic changes if that's what it takes. Another part of living deliberately, you need to deliberately choose to do things with your time that enrich your inner life experience, your inner world. And a big part of this, according to Thoreau and according to many philosophers, and I'm sure you'll agree, a big part of it is nature. You go out into nature. In solitude is the best. Go into nature. Go hiking. Hiking is good physical activity. You can really push yourself. You can run up a hill. And just being around trees and being in the sun and being in nature, this is all good for your soul. This is how you live deliberately. A lot of us live in cities. I live in an urban environment, so I make it a point at least once a week to go into nature somewhere, even if it's just the city park. But just surround myself by nature. Nature teaches us clarity, and it gives us perspective. When you're so narrowly focused on your little world and the busy little tasks you have to do in your rat race trying to get ahead, that type of narrow focus is broadened when you step into nature. You take a step back from your little life and you see a bigger picture. You slow down. You're present in the moment, and it's a perspective shift. Nature is very important. I like to combine good habits while in nature, gratitude journaling in nature, meditation in nature, fasting and exercise in nature. So simplicity, nature, and the third thing from Thoreau, his solution to this meaningless life of desperation and chasing external things. The third thing is self-reliance. Don't rely on other people for your happiness. I would go even further and say don't rely on other people for anything. Don't rely on other people for love. I did this for 12 years in my marriage. I relied on my wife for love and support, emotional support to make me feel good. Don't rely on anyone. I'm so much happier on my own. I'm at peace. I don't need anyone. I don't need other people to make me happy. I make myself happy. And don't rely on anyone for your income. If you just stop working at a job, this will take away so much. It'll take you out of the rat race. It'll take you out of this striving for material success and external validation. And it'll make you self-reliant if you don't have a job. You should be an entrepreneur, solo entrepreneur. This is what I do. No employees. I just work on my own, straight to the customer. I have a bunch of different little side hustles I do. And I have very low expenses. And this gives me the freedom to do whatever I want every single day. The freedom to do what you want, being self-reliant. This is all so much better than making like $1 million a year, but not having those things. You'll live longer, you'll be healthier, and you'll be way happier by making way less money, but doing it on your own terms. Not relying on others, not chasing external validation. So let me give you some just quick actionable steps and practical tips that you can just implement right away, right after this video, or just end the video now and go do this. You need to journal and self-reflect. I started journaling because I learned that gratitude is, along with mindfulness meditation, gratitude is one of the most important things you can do to improve your mental health. And after I write 5 things I'm grateful for, it's easy to just keep writing other stuff and reflecting on my life, my thoughts, what I want to do today, what I want to do this month, this year, just reflecting about life. So journaling is huge. I mentioned this in pretty much every video because it's so important. Actionable step 1, journal. Get a nice journal. Buy a nice pen. I paid like 60 euros for a nice fountain pen and like these little ink things that I take ink from. It's just nice. Invest in it. Invest in something that you're going to be doing every single day for the rest of your life. Another actionable step, like I talked about, nature. Take regular breaks in nature. You probably live in a dense urban environment like I do, but you probably have trees in that city. Go find a place. There's lots of cities, governors and stuff, people who manage cities, they understand the importance of nature. That's why they put green spaces all around the city. Go find a nice, quiet park near you where there's chirping birds, a fountain, and some benches that you can just sit in and just exist. Put your phone away. Maybe don't bring your phone. Here's an actionable tip. When you go out in nature, don't bring your phone. I know it sounds crazy because everyone's addicted to their fucking phone, but try to untether yourself from your smartphone. And as a natural consequence of journaling and going into nature regularly, you're going to use social media less. And this is the third actionable step. Use social media less. You're probably using it way too much. Watching educational YouTube videos like this, I don't consider this using social media because you're actually getting some value from this video, I hope. I'm talking about mindless scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. Even YouTube Shorts. Short form content, even if it's educational, people try to justify short form content. Oh, I learned something. It's educational. It doesn't matter. It's called context switching. When the context switches very rapidly, like a minute goes by and it's a completely different video. Another minute goes by, it's a completely different video. Or maybe it's just a few seconds go by and it's a completely novel, new type of information. That's bad for your mental health. Even if it's educational shorts, it's still bad. You want to watch a long form content where you have to pay attention, where you have to focus for a long time. The less edited, the better. I try to edit these videos as little as possible. And like you saw in the beginning of this video, I take my time, I sip my coffee, because the people who clicked off after that, they're not going to get any value from what I'm saying. They're not even close to being able to get value from it. It's the things I'm talking about is way beyond them. You need to have some baseline of mental health before you can get value from these videos. But just stop using social media for short form content consumption. If you have to use social media, do what I do. I post shorts, or I post Instagram stories, and I only look at my own stories. I don't look at other people's stories. Be a creator. And if you consume your own content. I'm like this with everything. Whatever content I consume, it's content I made, because at least I'm gonna be able to improve somehow from watching my own stuff. Same goes for spicy content. I always tell you guys, don't do nofap, do semen retention. I do semen retention on hard mode. I have sex and I don't bust a nut. And if I look at spicy content, it's my own that I made with different women. I'm not looking at other people's stuff. So how do we start living deliberately? This is what it's about. You simplify your life, you go in nature, you work on becoming self-reliant, and this is all about living deliberately. So how do you live deliberately? You need to ask yourself, what makes you truly feel alive? For me, I feel alive when I'm skateboarding through the streets, when I'm living dangerously. So like fitness, when I'm pushing myself physically, in kickboxing, when I'm sparring, I feel alive, I feel present. Anything that puts you in like a flow state where you're just shocked into presence, when you're getting punched and kicked, you're there, you're in that moment, you're not thinking about something else. When you're skateboarding through the streets and you're risking your life on skate tricks, not really risking your life, but risking injury, you're present in the moment. Whatever makes you feel alive and present and in flow state, like making content about things you're passionate about. I'm passionate about this stuff. I'm passionate about philosophy and self-development. A lot of my videos are about female nature. I probably touched on it in this video. I think I did. These are the things I'm passionate about. This is the content I'm passionate about making. So that's what I do. Fitness, self-development, content. This is the stuff I enjoy, that puts me in flow state, that makes me present. So I do this stuff every day. And you can use journaling and write down the stuff that makes you feel alive, and then make time for it every single day, whatever it is. Maybe nothing makes you feel alive. Maybe you're just playing video games and watching porn and eating junk food. Probably not, since if you made it this far in the video, I doubt you're that deep. I doubt you're that down bad. But if you don't have anything that makes you feel alive, like the things I mentioned, try what I talked about. Try kickboxing. Go on a fitness journey. So step one on breaking free and finding what's meaningful was to journal. about it. Journal what makes you feel alive, what matters to you. Step 2 is to break free from societal pressures. It's to reject society pressuring you to live how they want you to live. This goes back, I'll put a link to my Christmas video called Why I Reject Traditional Holidays, and encouraging people to create their own traditions. Remember, the point of this channel is to create a community that will eventually rise above humanity to become the Ubermensch, the overhuman. The overhuman creates their own values, their own traditions, their own morality. We are gods among men, or we will be in the future after many decades of trials and tribulations and sacrifice. But you break free from societal pressures by rejecting what society tells you need, and instead building your own habits and routines that align to your unique purpose. Don't create a life and like a daily routine based around making money because that's what society tells you have to do. Other people want you to make money. You have something else. You have a deeper calling. And if you actually pursue your deeper calling for long enough, you're going to end up making a bunch of money anyway. So reject societal pressures. Practically, this looks like just have solo time, set boundaries, turn your phone off so people can't contact you. If someone texts you or emails you, take a long time to respond. People need to learn to respect your time and give you your space. You shouldn't be so easily reached and available. This is a great tip for being attractive to women. Don't be available. Women should have to try hard to get to you, to get your time and attention. Don't just give it to them freely and easily. This is counterproductive and anti-seductive, is to just give women free attention and give them your time. The more of your time you give a woman, the less she values it, and the lower you put your own value in her eyes. People want things that are scarce. People want things that are hard to get. All right, so step 3 to breaking free and finding meaning is solitude. Thoreau was a huge proponent of solitude. I have tons of videos on this channel about solitude. Solitude is hugely important. This is how you become self-reliant. This is how you develop yourself internally. You can't develop yourself around other people. When you're hanging out with other people, you're not growing as a person. Unless it's like at kickboxing class, or maybe you're doing a workout in the gym with a friend. That's okay. But most of the time, people are at a bar getting drunk with their friends and hanging out and doing nothing important or meaningful that develops them. So solitude is crucial for this. Being in nature alone, this is what gives you clarity. Just even being at home, journaling. You can't journal and be self-reflective. You can't read and enrich your mind. You can't meditate. You can't do all of these things that develop you as a man. You can't do those things when you're hanging out with other people. You do all of these things in solitude. Everything that makes you into a better man is done in solitude. Solitude is so important. You have to value your time with yourself more than you value your time with others. I'm having a perfect day today. I have 11 good habits that I'm going to check off today to have a perfect day. I mentioned this in the Christmas video. I left a link for that. There's people hitting me up right now like, hey, you want to come do this? Or hey, do this. There's girls texting me. I'm not going to respond to any of them because I'm busy with myself having a perfect day. To normal people, this sounds crazy. It's like, you're not busy. What are you doing? You're writing, you're reading, you're meditating, you're going to the gym, you're making a YouTube video. Come hang out after you're done. These activities that I do in my solitude are way more important than any activity I could be doing with other people. I value my solitude above others, spending time with others. I value my self-development and my purpose above whatever bullshit other people want to ensnare me into. 99% of people have meaningless, trivial lives, inconsequential. Don't let them trap you into that. They want you to do that with them. Be on your own. Be great on your own. Rise above on your own. So if you made it this far, you have promise. There's something in you, have an attention span. You probably have decent mental health. Keep going. Avoid the masses. Avoid living a quiet life of desperation. And you do this by simplifying your life, by reflecting, being in nature, and living deliberately. You choose what you do. And it's having the wisdom to know the best things you can be doing, the best ways to spend your time, and then actually doing it. Having the integrity and the self-belief, the pride in yourself to do the things that you know you should. There could be things stopping you from doing what you know you should. Maybe you're addicted to weed. I know I was for many years. Day 36, no weed. Remove those things. Remove everything from your life. Sacrifice it. People are like, oh, but I love smoking weed. It makes me happy. If it's not helping you go where you need to go, you have to sacrifice it. I love like romance and being in love with a woman. I love that, but I'm sacrificing it because it's not helping me become what I need to become. Sacrifice love, sacrifice relationships, friendships, sacrifice everything. I'm willing to sacrifice my own humanity. I don't care about being human. I want to become better than human. Don't be afraid of sacrifice. If you want to live a mediocre life like the masses, like the peasants, then you don't have to sacrifice anything. Have a pleasurable, comfortable life. But if you yearn to achieve greatness, you're going to have to sacrifice. And you start by sacrificing the nice dopamine hits of social media, of weed, of drugs and alcohol, sex, porn and masturbation. You sacrifice those things first. And then later on, you're going to have to sacrifice real things. That's just the beginning of sacrifices. That's level 1. And I think the highest level is sacrificing your humanity, merging with super intelligent AI to become a new species. So let me know in the comments, what are you willing to sacrifice today? What are you willing to do today to not live a quiet life of desperation? Are you willing to leave your phone at home today and go to a park and sit on a bench and just breathe and meditate and enjoy nature? Are you willing to do that? Comment below if yes. And subscribe. Subscribe to this channel if you want to join this community of people striving to transcend above humanity. All right, guys. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Test 1, 2, 3. What's up, you guys? Here I am in the bedroom. We out here. We doing the damn thing. Daily uploads. Coming soon to a screen near you. Man lives a life of quiet desperation. The masses of men lead lives of quiet desperation. Henry David Thoreau.